So, unfortunately, I do have places to go, and I do have places to go. So I'm on a schedule to keep. As far as the places to go, so I have to, unfortunately, not do. Wait. Based on what I'm seeing, okay, okay, so I take it back. I take it back. I take it back. Based on what I'm seeing, I didn't actually know this, but Rampage is actually airing tomorrow at 10 p.m. on TNT because of the NHL playoffs. Yes, she did. Um, Rampage is airing tomorrow, so we will do the normal Rampage preview tomorrow as opposed to today. Which is good because I have places to go and people to see and things to do, and I didn't really have the time to do it today. All because I got up, a little later than I normally do. The problem with waking up a little later than you normally do. But based on an interview that Nick Khan did a couple of weeks ago, actually, I think it was earlier this week, where he said WWE would be looking to cut $50 million worth, 50 million, there, $50 million in budget due to the merger. According to reports, that clearly is making talent upset. Worried that there could be budget cuts and that what happened during the pandemic could happen again. I honestly don't believe that will happen again and here's why. It's because I don't think that they're going to be focusing on talent when it comes to budget cuts because like, talent is not usually affected during budget cuts unless it's necessary. What's affected during budget cuts is, or who's affected during budget cuts is, if people in the marketing, if AEW, if WWE and UFC are merging, then WWE doesn't need 15 people in their marketing department. They need 5 because AEW and WWE. Why do I keep saying AEW? UFC and WWE are merging, so they're going to share a marketing department more than likely. You know what I mean? And if they're going to share a marketing department, then WWE doesn't need 15 people in the marketing department. If they're going to share a production crew, WWE doesn't need 15 people in their production crew. So I think that, yes, is it entirely possible that maybe some people in NXT could get cut? Yeah, it's always possible that people in NXT could get cut. But is it likely that people on the main roster will? Honestly, no. I don't think it's likely that people on the main roster will get cut. I don't fault them for worrying, but I don't think that people on the main roster will get cut. No. I know that just might be my opinion, and I might be backwards on it because I'm not looking at it from the perspective of somebody that's actually potentially losing their job. But, I'm just looking at it I'm choosing to take a positive outlook or a positive idea of what could happen as opposed to a negative one. Simple as that. Simple as that. I'm just looking for a positive outlook as opposed to a negative one. But again, Rampage is on tomorrow, so the preview for Rampage will take place tomorrow because Rampage was preempted for the NHL playoffs on TNT. Clash at the Castle, though, apparently generated 21 million euros for the Welsh economy last September, and that, I'm sure, is the hope for Puerto Rico as far as WWE going down to Puerto Rico in May for Backlash. And that's why WWE wanted to make it a weekend. That's why WWE wanted to do the same thing that they did in Clash at the Castle, because it worked so well at Clash at the Castle. And I think that if I was um, the economy, the towns and the areas that WWE was going to for Money in the Bank, I'd be salivating at the opportunity to generate that type of money. Because this is what I always said with WWE. WWE helps, especially the money, the weekend events, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, blah, 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 blah. It helps generate a shit ton of money for the economy that WWE is in. That's just my opinion. And I'm kind of biased, but that's beside the point. Also, apparently, according to a report from Fightful, Trish took interest in the idea of working with Becky Lynch last year in Toronto at a live event in Toronto. I guess the idea popped into her head about this run that's coming up right now, of her potentially coming back and having a run with Becky Lynch. She got the idea last year in Toronto at a live event, apparently, according to Fightful. Which I think it adds a little bit more background, and it shows that Trish still has that itch to compete when the time is right. But the fact of the matter is, it is. I mean, I don't want to say that the fact of the matter is this kind of proves this or this kind of proves that, but I guess the fact of the matter is it kind of proves that you never lose that itch for professional wrestling. Speaking of an itch for professional wrestling, apparently Sean Spears hinted at retirement in a recent interview, saying that he doesn't want to do this for much longer and that he would love to win a championship belt before he retires in a major company, because he has a picture with John Huber and his son, with John Huber holding the TNT championship, and he would love to duplicate that picture with his son. By that, I mean, I think he has a picture with -1 and John Huber, with John Huber holding the TNT championship, not John Huber with his son, because I think, unfortunately, because to my knowledge, Sean Spears just became a father a few months ago when Peyton Royce gave birth to their first child. I could be wrong, though. Either way, though, if Sean Spears is looking at hanging it up, he's had if Sean Spears is looking at hanging it up, then he has had a career that has been a perfect 10. And I wish him nothing but the best. But with that being said, that is it for the wrestling news today, and I will see you in the next